Welcome everybody to a brand new episode of Charge and Cruise. Guess what time it is? It is mail time once again. We got a brand new e-bike sent to us from RAEV. Now RAEV was kind enough to send over their entry-level e-bike that's going to be the Bullet V2. I am super excited to get this thing open, so let's go ahead and just do that. All right, and here is a first look of the box that we just opened. Wow, really nicely packaged, a lot of styrofoam. They even have the accessories box zip tied. Everything seems to be very well packaged. Kudos to RAEV for a very good packing job. Let's crack open this first accessory box, see what it's all about. Okay, looks like we have some instructions, some tools, a little pamphlet right here, the pedals. Let's see what else we got in here. Looks like the charger as well. Should be a 2-amp charger, nothing too crazy. We got a lot of styrofoam in here. Here's a first look of the wheel. And as you can see, these are 20x4 Kendas, but they have the street tread on them. So not your typical fat tire knobbies. These are going to be a street pattern, and yeah, these feel really substantial. The rubber feels nice and thick. This should give you a lot more traction on pavement, as well as way less noise compared to the knobby fat tires. No more feeling like a swarm of bees is right behind you. Also, looks like we have 160 millimeter rotors right here. Not the biggest rotor size, but should be more than enough. Whew, even though this is kind of a small bike, the frame is actually decently heavy. I think it's like 80 pounds, but it feels really solid and sturdy. Let's go ahead and attach the handlebars. Not only am I new to street tread type tires, say that 4 times fast, but I'm also going to be very new to the full twist throttle. All my bikes have been quarter twist or half twist throttle. This one is full. So as you can see, you're allowed to pull on the whole grip as opposed to just half of it or a quarter of it. So that's going to be very interesting for me. Handlebar seems pretty nice. RAEV branded hydraulic brakes as well. And you know what? I've never really been a fan of these front-facing reflectors right here. I'm just going to go ahead and take it out. They just seem like a little cheap to me, and it doesn't really help with the aesthetic of a bike. Make some room for other accessories, right? All right, handlebars are on there good now. You can always readjust it if it's not the perfect stance when you finally sit down on it, but it seems to be pretty good. Let's go ahead and put on the front tires. We're gonna try to take advantage of all this extra foam here. Hopefully we can put the handlebars on there if I can make some sort of flat surface. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Works, right? Let's go ahead and try to get all these extra padding off the bike and put on the front tire. It's pretty nice that they included a little plastic cover for the seat, because that is a really premium seat as far as my first impressions go. Very, very cool that they include this little protector just to keep things nice and crispy. And it looks like the battery comes pre-attached, which is always good. You don't want a loose battery rolling around in the box while it's getting shipped. Now there is some pretty heavy branding going on here. We got raevbikes on the shocks, on the hydraulic brakes, on the battery, on the frame. Seems like all these components RAEV makes themselves, which is always kind of a good sign, right? Not a bunch of other components that they kind of like throw together, but everything is branded RAEV. Looks like we have a through axle. Always prefer those rather than a quick release. I just feel like it's just more sturdy and more reliable. All right, let's line up the rotor and the brake pads. Let's see if it spins freely without any rotor noise. Oh yeah. I love it when it's first try and you don't get any rotor rubbing. That's when you know it's been quality packed, because the brake calipers haven't moved at all during shipping. So yeah, the sound is true. Let's go. All right, put down the kickstand. Wow, here it is. How do you guys like that frame? I think it's really, really cool. Reminds me of like a Super 73 almost, but obviously a lot more slopes, a lot more curves. And that logo looks really nice. Kind of looks like a raptor claw. I just went ahead and swiped at it or something. But the Bullet V2 is looking beautiful. This seat is super nice and wide. Legitimately the widest seat I've ever had on any of my e-bikes, especially on this back end right here. Wow, she's a beautiful bike if I don't say so myself. Let's go ahead and finish the extra little tidbits like the pedals. But I think that's pretty much it. The box is empty and only had that one accessories box, so very basic assembly here. And there she is, guys, all cleaned up and ready to rock the RAEV Bullet V2. Legitimately, this was the easiest bike I've ever put together. All I did was the handlebars, the front tires, and the pedals. Everything else was already pre-built. Kickstand was ready to go. There's no gears you have to worry about. It is a single speed. I believe it's a 42 teeth chainring. I've still yet to test it out, of course. We'll see exactly where the ghost pedaling happens. Even the headlight was already installed, and it is sturdy, not budged at all. So yeah, it was very, very quick installation. The seat was already installed. The display was already installed. The throttle good to go. Legitimately only the front tire and the handlebars and the little pedals, and that's about it. But here she is, the Bullet V2 in metallic black. I wish it was a little bit more sunnier in this area, but for now we're in the shade. But it has a really nice sparkle to it. Let's go check it out and show you guys a bit more detail on the Bullet V2. So here we go, guys. Let's take a closer look here. Starting from the top, we have our Kenda's Street Tread 20x4 tires. These are going to be a lot more different than the knobbies and a lot more quieter. I believe this should get you a lot more range as well because there's less rolling resistance, but a very nice tread on them. Just regular spokes, and I believe you can inflate these all the way up to 35 psi, which is a pretty high pressure. We have 160 millimeter rotors right here paired with RAEV hydraulic branded brakes, as well as RAEV branded shocks. I believe these shocks have 70 millimeters of travel. Yeah, everything is RAEV branded. It's kind of cool like that. But once again, 160 rotors. They could be a little bit bigger. Usually in this price range, you're getting 180 millimeter rotors. But with this style of tire, you should be able to get more stopping power easily. Up to the front here, we have our headlight, which, as I mentioned before, became pre-installed. And this thing is bright. If you hit it right at the perfect angle, this thing will blind you, like straight up. This is a very nice headlight, and we are in the middle of the day. The fact that it can shine through like that on camera is a very good sign. I've still yet to test it out, of course, so you're gonna have to come back to the channel as I ride this bike for the next couple videos. So far so good on the headlight, looking nice. This is rubberized. It's pretty good. It's got a nice feeling to it, more rubber than plastic, so I like that. And of course, we've got the full twist throttle right here. This whole thing, you can twist it. Of course, the bike is on. I'm not gonna do that right now. Which brings me to the display. It is just a regular monochrome LCD display, no color. Reminds me of, like, you know, a stopwatch or something like that. But not too bad. It's got everything you need. You know, you got your lights, your pedal assist, which, by the way, goes up to 3. So that's a little different. I'm used to bikes going up to 5, but this goes up to 3. The max speed on this bike is actually 28, but you have to unlock it. There's videos online on how to do that. It's very, very simple. Shipped, this bike is a class 2. You got to unlock it to get into that class 3 28 mile-an-hour power. But yeah, the handlebars, nice little slope. I wouldn't say BMX style, but it's got a nice slope to it, very comfortable. Here's the horn right here. More of a beep than a horn, if that makes any sense. Oh, by the way, while we're up here, the shocks have preload adjustments, lockout, and of course compression adjustments. But here's a little bit of a look at the paint. Of course, a lot of e-bikes are black, but this one has that metallic shimmer to it, which I do enjoy. The whole frame itself looks to be designed really well. Reminds me of like Honda-inspired mopeds from back in the day. And I really do like that RAEV logo, especially on the battery integrated with the frame right here. It's like a nice little slash. Very, very cool. Also, this seat, guys, here we go. This is probably the best seat I've ever had on a bike. Especially back here, it's almost like a lazy boy couch. This thing is thick. Looks to be very, very comfortable, leather, and Gonna be a very enjoyable ride. And you can put a passenger back here actually. There's mounts for foot pegs if you want to go that route. Back here is the hub motor. For some reason, it actually says 48 volt, 500 watts, but the V2 is actually 750. So I'm not sure if that's just like a typo error or something like that, but it is a 750 watt hub motor, 28 mile/hour limit, basically your standard class 3 e-bike here. Of course, you got the rear tail light, and it is of course integrated with the brakes. Very nice. You also got mounting brackets right here. I believe RAEV does sell a rear rack for this bad boy. Unfortunately, I didn't get sent one, but there's just 3 little mounting studs right here. It looks like it should be an easy accessory. And here's that big beefy chain ring right here. Double-sided chain guard as well. 42 teeth, I believe, on this bad boy. Looks like a really long chain. And it even has the derailleur guard right here, even though there's no gears. So that's always good to have this protected. You definitely don't want to have your bike fall over and bite the dust. So the derailleur guard is a nice touch. Look at this frame. Very nice design. The battery itself has a little color display right here. Not display, but little color option to tell you exactly where empty is and full is, on and off switch. Looks like you can charge directly on the battery, and this is a USB port. So if you want to charge your phone or something like that while you're on a ride, you can do that. This battery is actually on the smaller end. It is a 13 amp hour, so definitely on the smaller end, especially for 2024 going into 2025. It seems like everyone is getting bigger batteries. And that's pretty much it, guys. I mean, I'm telling you, this thing was such a breeze to assemble. Even the tires were inflated nicely, like they're not even flat. I'm not sure what the PSI is, but they were inflated pretty nicely already. It was such an easy build from start to finish, probably like 30 to 35 minutes. So I am very excited to test this bike out. Of course, we're going to be doing deliveries on this thing, seeing how much we can squeeze out of that 13 amp hour battery, see the real range. Here it is side by side with the Zebra. As you can tell, it's a bit lower than the Zebra, and honestly, it looks like it's a bit longer than the Zebra, which is a pretty big surprise. This is going to be more suited for shorter riders for sure. Some of the older folks who don't have that much, flexibility, they can easily get on top of this and have a wonderful ride and not have to do the splits while trying to get on the bike. But yeah, guys, if you're interested in this bike, make sure to follow the channel because I'm going to be doing multiple videos with this thing, seeing exactly how she rides, the pros and cons, you know the deal. I'd like to thank RAEV for sending this bike out and helping grow the channel. Let me know what you guys think of the RAEV frame. I mean, RAEV makes some really nice bikes. Some of them go up to like 35, 40 miles an hour, dual battery, all that good stuff. But this is going to be their entry level. I am happy to enter into the RAEV ecosystem, see what kind of bikes they got. So far from initial impressions, especially the build quality and the assembly, RAEV really takes care of their customers. They want to make sure that everything is just a breeze, and it was. Very fast assembly. Make sure to subscribe, make sure to follow me along as we test out the RAEV Bullet V2. And until next time, guys, take care, farewell.